Hello Gundam fans and welcome back to another Gunplay review video. This is going to be quality or quantity. You decide. And what I mean by that, do you prefer the Zeta 2.0, which is a 2005 kit, or do you prefer the Zeta Verka, which came out recently as of this video this year, 2023? I'm going to be showing both of these kits at the same time, even though I've had them both for a while now. I've just been doing my videos in order as the release order of the Master Grades that I currently own, which I'll add others as I get more Master Grades and go back to them, but I finally got to the Zeta, even though I've had the Zeta Verka since like the first few days it was out. I bought it, built it, and put it on my shelf. So, I'm making this review now that I'm hitting the Zeta portion of the in order part, because Master Grade Zeta came after the Mark II, so yeah, that's gonna be what I'm reviewing today. So I just want to get into some things here. I record a couple of these videos and archive the footage ahead of time, especially whenever I have my setup, because I don't have a very big apartment. As you can tell, this is literally, there's the door and then the kitchen I can almost reach. It's not very big. So whenever I film a lot of these, I film them ahead. So I had to go back and find things, because past me didn't know where some things were, and I've been organizing all my stuff. So I found things since then. So anyway though, well, let's go ahead and get into this review right here. The Zeta Verka versus the Zeta 2.0. Quality or quantity, you decide. Hopefully it helps out with your next Gunpla purchase. Alright, and this is everything that comes in the box here. Quality or quantity, Zeta Verka or Zeta 2.0. You get to pick here and you get to see both of them side by side. Here's what the two kits look like whenever I go ahead and pick them up right here. I'll do a little bit of moving them around just so you can kind of take a look and see what they look like with a little bit more light instead of my cool little display background. Also, just right now, it looks like here the little rifle fell out of his hand. This is where I'm getting at with the quality over quantity kind of aspect. Do you like the old school or do you like the new school setup? And which one is better than the other? So at the time of recording this, I didn't have all of the little bits and stuff, which I will show right now. The Verka does come with the ammo cartridges on it, a display adapter. It comes with all kinds of little different types of hands. Alright, it does come with the manuals, and as you can tell here, we got a big ass gun and a little gun for the 2.0. The Verka does not come with that. The big gun does have a little mechanism where you can move it up and down, and then there's little pieces that move on the actual beam rifle. Give me a moment here. Let me grab that other accessory that comes with it. Here's the launch pad that comes with the 2.0. It's the only reason why I wanted to really get the 2.0s, because it came with this. It is also compatible with the Mark II docking station or the launch pad 4, so a cool little feature of the docking station or launch pad, whichever one you want to call it, is that it has a place to store some stuff, like an adapter for when it transforms, the extra ammo cartridges, things like that. Alright, so the accessories for the Verka, you're going to basically get a shield, and then a beam rifle. Now this beam rifle holds in the hand so much better than the 2.0. Like, look at me, shaking it right here. That guy is not coming out. Alright, let me go and give these a little bit of a durability test. Let's shake both of them and see if anything falls off. So we're going to go ahead and get into the articulation here, starting with the 2.0. Let's go ahead and start with this feet right here. They can definitely move down like so. This also helps with the transformation on it. Now we're going to go and get into the knee bend here. Let's get that. Ooh. That knee bends pretty well there. Can you do a front kick? Oh yeah, if you decide to do a front kick, that knee's going to bend forward, because that's also part of the transformation. So be careful with that if you're going to do any front kicks with the Zeta. And then, of course, the flaps. Really, they're not too bad on this kit to have it move up like so. Now, you can't really do much of a side kick, especially with the plate right there. I'm pretty sure if you moved around a bit, you can definitely get it to do a side kick. That ab crunch is almost non-existent just because of the pilot inside. Let's go and get into the arms here. The hand is a 3-finger, one pointer, and then a thumb, and it allows it to move in and out. It is also on a ball joint, so you can spin it around, move it up and down. It has a second point that I'm showing here where you can bend it back just slightly. Alright, so we're going to get into that elbow bend right here. Let's see what it can do. Oh, that's a pretty good little elbow bend right there. And the shoulder does have a couple points of movement. It doesn't get the greatest T-poses because it's so limited by how far the shoulder can go. So the head does move a little bit around. Good little circle, not too bad. Not the worst, not the greatest, but it still has movement. Now for the back, the wings do have a bit of motion, but it's mostly for that transformation whenever they're out and pointed towards, you know, like in a spaceship format. The tip of the shield does come in and out in a sliding motion. This helps for the transformation and putting it back into a shield. So let's slide over here to the Verka. The Verka does have some accessories, not a whole lot, mostly just hands, and then of course the ammo cartridges, and a couple of base adapters that I've shown in the previous clip. Now for the 2.0, I think it comes with an adapter, but I'm not quite sure where that is, and that's mostly for when it's transformed, and for the bottom part in between the legs. So let's go ahead and get into the articulation of this kit right here. Let's start with our feet, and I do want to show some stuff off with the feet themselves because there is a lot of detail on this kit when it comes to the feet. You can tell with the nice silver pieces that go underneath that kind of pop through the red. It does have a nice bend down for that transformation. You do have to adjust a little piece on top, a little bit here and there. For the actual knee bend here, it is limited by the actual butt flap, but for the most part, it's not too bad. It can do a nice little front kick with ease. That front plate moves so much better than the 2.0. Side kick still doesn't quite have the side kick, but again, that plate on the side is holding it back. So we're going to go and get to the ab crunch here. The ab crunch on this is a little bit better than the 2.0. I wouldn't call it perfect because it does have that cockpit that kind of limits it a little bit there. It doesn't have it can swivel a little bit side to side. And so, pulling that cockpit out, you can see the pilot in there. It does have a switch to move the pilot up and down. And of course, these little flaps here add a nice little bit of detail whenever it comes to the transformation on it. I'm not going to show the flap right now because I attempted to, but I'm not going to. Now, on the chest piece, you're going to notice those nice silver pieces in it. They are popping through. It is amazing for the little bit of detail. That's why this kit's a little bit more. Now, we still have some issues, as you can see, where the flaps do come off on the sides a little easy, but they're supposed to be movable. You got your beam sabers under them as well, so same thing with the 2.0. It has it's in the same spot. So the shield does come off here, just like with the 2.0. Not too much has changed in that aspect. Now this does have a sliding mechanism. Oh, I accidentally pulled that apart there. Let's put that back together, but it does slide back and forth just like the 2.0 shield. That is something that hasn't changed. You got this little piece here that adjusts so that whenever you have it in the ship form, you can move it up and down to kind of put that in. So the kit does come with several different hands. No opening hand, but you can get the closed fist hand. You do have a thumb that can move on the hands, and then of course a holding hand, an open hand, all those type of hands, but no actual moving hand with the 3 fingers, 1 index finger kind of situation. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video, quality or quantity. So we're going to start with the Zeta 2.0 since it is the older of the two kits. Let's go ahead and get in that rating system with the posability and articulation of this kit. So posability, as a Gundam, it is a 7 out of 10. As you can tell from the video, I really did not give a shit about trying to transform it because that's a garbage panda. There's the process right there. I'm going to put it right now. I was gonna get some cool footage of both of them in ship form, but yeah, that's as far as I got. When it comes to the Zeta Verka, we're gonna go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10 because this kit has so many more things that make it solid for moving around as both the Gundam and the ship. So both of them are gonna be a 9 out of 10 for a transforming Gundam. It is nowhere near the quality of the Double Zeta though when it comes to the transformation. For me, personally, I have a lot more issues keeping this as transformed compared to the Double Zeta, which I will do that review later on. and that's going to be the double Zeta Verka for those wondering. So I'm comparing two kits from the UC together right there, just because they're both transforming Verkas. So now the appearance on the shelf for these, I'm going to have to give the Zeta 2.0 a 7 out of 10. It's still pretty basic. It is a Master Grade, so it's a lot more detailed than like a real grade or a high grade. Real grade looks phenomenal. Looks 10 times better than this does. I'm not gonna lie. That's the only thing that had going for it. I didn't rate it very well back then, but that's something it had going for it. But for the Zeta Verka, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. They improved some things. They added some sharper details to it, some sharper color separation, but it wasn't like this massive change where it like sits on your shelf. You know what? If I really want to be fair, it's an 8.5 out of 10. If I really want to give it a fair rating, because it did add some shiny bits in the chest piece with the shiny silvers. So I have to give it that. Now for the buildability of this kit, I'm going to start with the 2.0, and this is going to be a 7 out of 10. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It was a little bit better than meh. Like, I had a bit of fun building it, but as you can tell, I didn't really bother transforming it. So now, when it comes to Zeta Verka, that is an easy 10 out of 10. This kit was so pleasurable to put together. I wanted a second one, just because it was so fun to put together. I can't argue with the build at all. Now, for the durability / playability of this kit, how durable is it? How playable? How can you mess with it? Can you sit on your desk while you're just fidgeting? Can you play with it? I'm gonna have to give the Zeta Verka, or Zeta 2.0, sorry, a 3 out of 10. As you can tell, I didn't even bother transforming it, because this kit, literally, if you start messing with it, it just starts to fall apart and it just doesn't move properly. So, what can I say? Now, when it comes to the Zeta Verka, everything is reinforced. So whenever it comes to the actual posability and stuff like that, I'm going to make this, even with the posability and articulation, this is another 9 out of 10 for the durability and playability of this kit. So, can't argue with that. Bandai, you did great for the Verka design on this. No arguments at all. So, price point. Whenever it comes to the actual parts that come in the box for these, if you really want something that's going to have a lot of oomph and big guns and an action base and all that stuff, go with the Zeta 2.0. If you can get it for a really good price, it should be pretty relatively low right now, because the Verka is just gonna kill it in terms of everything. So, but if you have that price point, a Verka should cost you anywhere from 75 USD to, or $75 US dollars, I should say, to roughly around 100 US dollars. That should be like the price point you should be looking for that one. So definitely a lot more, but it has a lot more things going for it. So in my opinion, I would choose the Verka, just because I like the quality portion of it. The build was so, I'm a builder more than I am a poser and any of that. So I would definitely go over the Verka. So anyway though, it's up to you to make that choice. If you're liking this video and you haven't yet, please slash that subscribe button. You know, those of you that have, I appreciate it. So yeah, the next Master Grade review I'm going to be doing is going to be the Zaku's 2.0s. Now, those are some kits. I'm going to do both of them in the same video because they're the same thing, and I'll explain that then. Anyway, though, that's it for me on this one. I'm out.